Honestly, I'm so excited to talk to you both. I watched the show weeks ago and I was completely blown away by it, by your performances, by the finale. Obviously, I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but I have tons of questions for you. You know, when we first see the relationship between Adele and David, it's obviously very strained. But then as we get into later episodes, we get to see kind of how they got together earlier on. And those scenes are so beautiful. I'm honestly just curious if the two of you had any type of chemistry reading prior to filming and how each of you were cast in the show. Eve, I'll start with you.
No, we didn't have a chemistry read. I've actually been asked about this a lot, and I'm so honored that people liked our relationship.
Yeah.
No, we met at the table read, and then we had 2 weeks of rehearsals. Everybody had kind of got to know each other. But then the sort of nice thing was we all got to go up to Scotland to start shooting and do all of those flashback scenes. So that's how we got to know each other, was a more lighter, more loving side of David and Adele. And I think we were lucky that we sort of got to bond. It was sort of like we went away on camp or something. And then once we got to London, we sort of got into the more tense side of their relationship.
Wow. Okay, so Tom, in those flashback scenes, then is that something that you guys shot towards the beginning?
Yeah, we were really lucky. Like Evie said, I didn't know Evie. The first time I met her was at the table read, and thought she was fucking great, but didn't know her. But luckily, I don't know if it was a decision to do it creatively. I think it probably was. But we went up to Scotland, and it was just Evie and Rob and me doing those scenes, and it was wonderful because we had more time. Like in London, it's quick. We didn't have too long to shoot this, and so it was like a really fast pace. But in Scotland, it felt quite free. We had a lot of time and stuff, so we could just really play with each other. And I kind of just fell in love with everyone on the shoot, and it gave that sort of really warm, wonderful, happy feeling, which hopefully is emulated in those scenes. And then to move to London, to be hit with this sort of grey, horrible relationship.
Yeah, Evie. I don't, like I said, I don't want to get into too many spoilers. Your performance is so layered. So many different things happening within that character. I'm honestly just curious how you kept yourself organized on set, meaning you're playing Adele, yet other things are kind of happening with her. How do you keep yourself organized and figuring out how you're going to portray her, if that makes sense? Given everything that we can't say.
Honestly, it wasn't that complicated. I know it might seem as though it was, but I just had to have a different perspective on the character than the audience would have had.
Yeah.
And once I knew where her motivations were coming from, it actually came quite naturally. And we had like a lot of rehearsal. Eric Richter-Strand, our director, is so clever. He had a really good hold on the story and what he was going to do, and at which point, like, when can we reveal this, or when does the perspective change? So it was sort of just conversations with him, a lot of conversations with Tom, and about, when can we play it up, when do we have to play it down, that type of thing. But that's more enjoyable than just doing a sort of a straightforward character, if you know what I mean. It was actually kind of exciting.
Yeah. I speak to a lot, last question for you both. I speak to a lot of actors that the series or the movie is based on the book. Honestly, some actors choose to read the book. Some actors choose just have conversations with the director and with their colleagues. Tom, did you read the book? How did you approach the character of David?
I did read the book, but what I did try and think to myself was I would like to, because the book's how many pages long, and we got 6 hours of television that we get to play with, which I just wanted to really sort of grow out. So I used the book as a sort of, not a starting point, but just sort of going, okay, this is this character, this is this world, and I know what he's doing. But what Steve wonderfully did was he sort of wrote in between the lines and took out the lines, so there was a lot to just do with performance. And like Evie said, Eric is just such a brilliant, wonderful captain of our ship, and he has such a great hold on it that really just discussing with him, with Evie, if we have a scene over the dinner table, it could be played that I come in screaming at her, it could be played that I sort of sit silently staring at her for a while, all of which are valid, all of which are exciting. So really it was kind of just a big old playground. But the book was a starting point, really, and then that script we could just really explore.
Yeah, well, thank you both for your time today. I honestly can't wait to see what people think of this show. I'm so excited. Evie, I'm obsessed with your dog on Instagram. He's so cute. My puppy's downstairs, luckily have not barked, so I'm thankful for that. Thank you both so much for your time today. I appreciate it. And like I said, I can't wait for people to see this show because it's so good and shocking.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
Thank you.